AI is moving so fast right now, it's almost hard to keep up, and it's creating this fundamental tension we really need to talk about. See, on one hand, it has this incredible promise to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges, but on the other, it presents some seriously unsettling risks. So in this explainer, we're going to break down this AI paradox.
All right, to really get a feel for this, let's look at a perfect example that you've probably seen everywhere. Remember that bizarre, almost nightmarish video of Will Smith eating spaghetti from 2023? Well, just look at what the exact same prompt can generate now. The jump in quality, in coherence, in sheer realism, it is absolutely staggering. It's the perfect visual for the wild, exponential curve we are on.
And this isn't just about making convincing videos. This visual leap is backed up by some serious performance gains. Take a look at MMLU. It's a key benchmark that tests an AI's general knowledge. On that test, AI scores have jumped a whopping 64.4 percentage points in just 5 years. To put that in perspective, that's like going from a failing grade to the top of the class. So all this blistering speed has unlocked a totally new frontier of what these systems can do. We're now seeing AI step into roles that, honestly, until very, very recently, were strictly for highly trained human experts. Let's dig into what this promise actually looks like.
Okay, this is where it gets really mind-blowing. Look at the quantum leap in actual reasoning. Just focus on that bottom row for AIME. That's a math Olympiad-level test, folks. The score jumped from just 9% to almost 75%. That isn't just a little better. That's a fundamentally new ability to think through incredibly complex problems. It was just unthinkable a year or so ago.
And this isn't just about passing tests, right? It's having a massive impact on real-world science. We're talking about AI contributing to world-changing discoveries. Its work on protein folding and the foundational concepts of neural networks has now earned the highest possible recognition you can get in science.
And get this, all that brain power isn't just stuck behind a screen anymore. It's literally being put into the bodies of general-purpose humanoid robots, like this one. These robots can now watch, reason, and interact with the physical world to do really complex things, like making a cup of coffee from start to finish, completely on their own.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. AI isn't just a fancier calculator or a faster search engine. It's morphing into a new kind of partner in discovery. We're seeing AI agents that can do complex research, fully autonomous labs that run their own experiments, and models that can literally discover new biology. This is a total paradigm shift.
Okay, so that's the shiny, amazing side of the coin. But, and this is a big but, all this rapid-fire progress is creating some seriously deep and troubling cracks in the system. And that brings us to the other side of this paradox, the peril.
And that leads us to the really tough question that just hangs over everything. As we build these incredibly powerful systems, are we also, unintentionally, making them more dangerous? The data suggests we need to be very, very careful.
Research has uncovered this really disturbing paradox. For a long time, the thinking was more data makes AI better and fairer. But this heat map shows that the opposite can actually be true. Now, you don't need to read all the tiny details, but just notice how the red areas, which represent harmful stereotypes, get darker and more intense as the models get bigger from left to right. It shows that just scaling up the data can actually make the model worse by reinforcing dangerous biases.
And we're not talking about a tiny little blip here. The chance of a model labeling Black or Latino men as criminals can shoot up by as much as 69% as it gets bigger. This proves that just throwing more data at the problem is not a magic fix. In fact, without very careful work, it can act like a giant amplifier for the worst parts of our society.
And the problems don't stop with bias. We're also seeing a whole bunch of other red flags. The safety features are often paper-thin and easy to trick. The same models that are geniuses at math can fail at really basic logical planning. And of course, the most visible problem. AI is being weaponized as a misinformation engine, with deepfakes and robocalls already popping up in elections.
And sometimes these ethical blind spots lead to just heartbreaking situations with real-world pain. In one truly shocking case, a platform let a user create a chatbot that impersonated a murdered teenager, causing unimaginable distress to her family. It's a stark reminder of the lack of oversight and the desperate need for ethical guardrails. So, okay, we've got this incredible power, but also these huge challenges. What are we actually doing about it? Well, in our third act, let's look at the path forward, where everyone from policymakers to researchers is scrambling to figure out how to manage this technology.
At the policy level, there's been an absolute explosion of activity.
I mean, just look at the US state-level AI laws. Have gone from just a single law in 2016 to over 130 in the last year alone. It's a mad dash to try and get ahead of the tech.
And this isn't just happening in one country. It's a global race to put some rules in place. We're seeing huge international actions, from the EU's Big AI Act to the UN's Digital Compact. Everyone is trying to build a framework for safe and trustworthy AI.
But, laws can only do so much. A really crucial part of the response has to be technical. So researchers are building new tools. Think of them like standardized stress tests to rigorously measure these AI systems for risks before they get released to you and me.
And when you run these tests, the results are, well, they're all over the place. This heat map shows how well different models refuse to answer harmful questions. Dark blue is good. That means it says no. The lighter colors are bad. And you can see the safety varies wildly. Some models are safe almost all the time, while others will comply with dangerous requests way too often.
But here's the catch. Actually getting organizations to use these new tools and follow responsible practices, that's a whole other story. A recent survey found that the single biggest roadblock isn't money or rules, it's a lack of knowledge, cited by 38% of people as the main hurdle.
So where does all of this leave us? Well, we're stuck navigating the central paradox of AI. It's a technology of contradictions, and it's our job to somehow steer it in the right direction.
On the one hand, we have this tool of immense promise, right? It's accelerating science, solving problems we thought were impossible, and even automating tasks in the real world. But at the exact same time, it's a source of profound peril, a tool that can amplify our worst biases, be used for malicious purposes, and erode our very trust in reality.
And here's the most important part. You can't separate these two sides. The promise and the peril, they are two faces of the same powerful coin. So the path forward isn't about picking one over the other. It's about figuring out how to push for relentless innovation while at the same time holding ourselves to an unwavering standard of responsibility.
And that leaves us with the one big question we all have to think about. As this technology gets woven deeper and deeper into the fabric of our world, how are we, all of us together, going to make sure that its incredible power serves humanity's best interests and not just the bottom line? That is the challenge that's going to define this new era.